killing her child. Detectives with the Fayetteville Police Department charged 35-year-old Crystal Matthews with first-degree murder and felony child abuse. She is being held at the Cumberland County Detention Center without bond. Police say Matthews assaulted her son, 9-year-old Zamari Chance, inside a room at the Fairfield Inn and Suites, causing fatal blunt force trauma injuries. A hotel guest called 911. Officers found the child unresponsive on the floor. Emergency crews took Chance to Cape Fear Valley Medical Center, where he died.
Carolina's Kelly Kennedy was there today as Crystal Matthews made her first appearance before a judge. Kelly?
Plenty of emotion in the courtroom this afternoon as Matthews went before a judge to hear the charges against her. There were tears streaming down her face and a lot of yelling and screaming from family members in the audience. 35-year-old Crystal Matthews seen fighting back tears in court on Monday.
There certainly is an emotional element when you have a 9-year-old child that lost their life. So, you know, you can the emotion of it is not lost on you. But we have a job to do, and we intend to do it.
The Fayetteville mother is charged with beating her son to death in a hotel room Saturday.
I have children. Many of us have children, and to think that the allegation, at least, is that that a parent could take their own child's life is very unsettling. And something we take very seriously in the Cumberland County District Attorney's Office, and we're going to do the best we can to get justice for this child in this case.
A guest at the hotel called 911 Saturday morning to report a woman crying out for help in a room on the 3rd floor.
I'm calling about the room upstairs. It sounds like a woman is getting beat. I called the front desk. They said they were going to send maintenance up there, but it's continuing, and she's screaming and screaming for help.
Police found Matthews in the room and her 9-year-old son, Zamari Chance, unresponsive. Paramedics took him to the hospital where he later died from his injuries. I've learned Zamari Chance was a 4th grade student at Howard Hall Elementary. Now, we did get a statement from the principal of the elementary school, Erica Fenner McAdoo. It says, quote, "The Howard Hall Elementary School family is truly saddened by the loss of Zamari Chance. He will be greatly missed by our students, staff, and parents throughout the community." Now, Matthews is still behind bars and is being held without bond. She's going to be back in court on November 9th.
Now, live from our newsroom at the Fayetteville Observer. Gilbert, grief brings a lot of people together.
David, that's exactly right. And as you might imagine, the interviews with both of those families at times very emotional. Now, the father, stepfather, and mother all worked at the Goodyear plant here in Fayetteville. That's their connection. And it is clear that the two fathers love the little boy. Now both families searching for him. Kareem Moore says he'll never forget the phone call from Fayetteville police alerting him that his son, 9-year-old Zamari Chance, was dead following a domestic dispute.
It was a small argument. They had spats and they had spats off. And I was like, did he just tell me it was a small spat and my son is dead?
Police say Zamari was beaten to death by his mother, Crystal Matthews. She's locked up and charged with murder. This is a Moore family picture. The father describes his son as a happy-go-lucky kid with a smile that would light up a room. Moore's older son became concerned about Zamari's safety when Matthews abruptly demanded he bring the little boy home during a recent visit.
We're getting these phone calls about, if you don't get my son home now by such and such time, I'm gonna call the police on you. So I'm like, I said, Zamari, you know, is there something being hidden? Like, you know, what's going on? Why would she just snap like that?
He was very open, loving. He was happy.
In Dunn, another family picture and more grieving. Richard Chance knew Matthews well. They were high school sweethearts and were married 9 years ago. He originally thought Zamari was his son. They shared all the holidays together. He too is searching for answers as to what happened to cause the death of his stepson.
I think maybe she had a medical condition, something happened here or there, but I know one thing for sure, she never would have hurt her child.
Now, both families tell me now they do have evidence that Matthews was diagnosed with some type of mental illness. They want to know why social services, mental health didn't step in to make sure that diagnosis, Dave, didn't turn to death.
8 Mile. And 7 Action News reporter Shelley Childers is live at the scene where we're learning more about the lone survivor, a baby, Shelley?
That's right, Alicia, Malcolm. The only survivor in this horrific crash is a baby who was found in a car seat. That baby is at the hospital right now. But here's a live look at the scene. This is the eastbound lanes of I-94 near 8 Mile in St. Clair Shores. We're being very cautious with what we show you live on the air because, as we've mentioned, it's a horrific crash. There were 4 people who died. 2 of those people were ejected, and there are 2 more people still inside the car. So we're not going to show you that right now because crews are out here on the scene as we speak with you, working to clean up this mess. But here's a look at what it looked like earlier. You can see this car. So we spoke with witnesses. They tell us that they were driving on I-94, the eastbound lanes, right before 1 o'clock this morning when they saw an SUV come up behind them, speed past them, and then they watched as that SUV hit the side of the 8 Mile overpass here on I-94. Here's what they tell us they witnessed.
Out of nowhere, the car came flying on the side of us on about 80, and next thing you know, before we can even get halfway, he was already past it and hit the wall. And it gets through everybody,
What lane were you driving?
We was in the middle lane, and we was in the middle lane. He was on the far left lane, and then I don't know if he was trying to get over a lane and go back.
So those were the witnesses we spoke with. They tell us that when they came up to the crash, they worked to try to help out the victims here, but they tell us the 2 people who were ejected, both men, were already dead. 2 people inside the car, both women, were already dead, so they were only able to get out. The baby, again, found in the car seat, the only survivor in this horrific crash, in the hospital this morning. We don't know anything else about these victims, just what the witnesses tell us that they saw it here. But again, the I-94 eastbound lanes here in St. Clair Shores, right near 8 Mile, will be closed for several more hours. I know our Anne-Marie LaFlame is working on those detours for us and those reroutes right now back at the studio.
Three family members, not 1, not 2, but 3 family members. And we have to be strong for my sister because I know that she's going to need that strength.
This is all that's left of their 2006 Buick. State police say they were riding in the left lane, speeding through the 55-mile-an-hour zone, passing other cars, then for some reason crossed all 3 lanes, crashed and rolled. None of the 4 adults, police say, were wearing seatbelts.
The 2 in the back were because of the impact.
Yeah.
What do you say to your family? You're their strength.
Time is going to be our healer.
The victims are identified as the driver, 20-year-old Daryl Rogers, as well as the family members. Pictured here, 20-year-old Alicia Maddox in the front seat, her cousin Armani Maddox, and 18-year-old Irvin Johnson, a cousin, in the back seats. Also Josiah, 1 year and 2 days old, survived even though he was in what police say is a wrong size child safety seat.
That car seat saved his life. He only has like a bruise on his eye. I just left the hospital. Josiah has a limp. They just found out that he has a limp now. So they're going to check his leg and stuff, but he's okay.
And they just had a birthday party for Josiah on Saturday.
He's like a miracle. I mean, like he's laughing. He don't want to eat anything but cookies and drink juice and stuff. He's like nothing happened, but he wants his grandmother, and that's it. He doesn't want to come to anybody. He knows something is not right.
So little Josiah, the bright spot in the center of this immense family tragedy. State police tell us no other vehicles were involved out here, and at least 2 of these deaths, maybe all 4, could have been prevented if they had been wearing their seatbelts. Live in Harper Woods, Jim Kurtzner, 7 Action News.
I lost 3, but I gained 1.
Lalonda Maddox is the mother of 2 of the victims in the deadly crash and aunt to a third. 20-year-old Alicia and 18-year-old Armani Maddox, brother and sister. 18-year-old Irvin Johnson, their cousin. The driver, 20-year-old Daryl Rogers, was not related. Lalonda is still trying to come to terms with their deaths.
I lost them, but I know, they somewhere, God got them. He got them.
She said Alicia, Armani, and Irvin all lived in her home with her in Detroit. Alicia's 1-year-old son, Josiah, is the only survivor of the crash.
Alicia was the best mom that anybody can ask for as a young mother. I taught her right. And for her son to survive, Josiah, for him to survive all of that.
Lolanda says Josiah is still in the hospital, but he's doing great and he is expected to be released soon.
He fine. Not a scratch on his body. Josiah means it means a lot. She got that out the Bible, and it means a lot. God protected him at all times.
She said there's only one bright spot she can focus on right now, and it's Josiah.
I just thank God, because if he was gone, I just didn't know what to do.
Family gathered around her at her home in Detroit for a makeshift vigil Monday night, and she says she's going to need their support.
I'm going to take it one day at a time, but, you know, the family that I have, our backbone.
State police do believe speed did play a factor in this crash, but they are still investigating and they haven't released an exact cause. And the family has put together a GoFundMe account for 3 of those victims. It's on our website, WXYZ.com. Live tonight in Harper Woods, Brianne Pomerini, 7 Action News.